Hi viewers, welcome to JSM. Today we are going to study about factors affecting the adsorption. Okay, before we are going to study about factors affecting the adsorption, let us know one of the special term, that is extent of adsorption. Okay, extent of adsorption. So what is this extent of adsorption is? The amount of adsorbate adsorbed onto the unit mass of adsorbent is called as extent of adsorption. Okay, so if we consider this as adsorbent, okay, and this as unit mass of adsorbent, okay, the amount of adsorbate which is adsorbed onto this unit mass of adsorbent is called as extent of adsorption. Okay, it can be given by a formula called x by m. Okay, so extent of adsorption is equal to x by m. Okay, where x is the mass of adsorbate. Okay, mass of adsorbate which is accumulated on the unit mass of adsorbent, and m is the mass of adsorbent. Okay, so it is the ratio of mass of adsorbate to the mass of adsorbent. Okay, so the extent of adsorption of the gases, okay, extent of adsorption of the gases onto the solid is mainly affected by four factors. Okay, so what is now? The adsorption is affected mainly by four factors. What are those four factors are? Firstly, surface area of adsorbent. Okay, and the second one is nature of gas, and the second one is nature of gas, and third one is pressure, and fourth one is temperature. Okay, so firstly let us know how the surface area of adsorbent is placing the role in adsorption. Okay, so what is adsorption? The accumulation or the sticking of adsorbate molecules onto the surface of adsorbent is called as adsorption. Okay, if we provide the large surface area for adsorbent, what happens? The rate of adsorption is going to increase, that is the adsorption is going to increase. Okay, so if the surface area of adsorbent is increasing, what happens? The rate of adsorption is also increasing. Okay, so that is nothing but the extent of adsorption is increasing by increasing the surface area of adsorbent. Okay, so that is why in the case of hydrogenation of oils we use finely powdered nickel or finely powdered platinum, because if we take a bulk amount of nickel or platinum, what happens is it will have only one surface area. If we just powder this bulk surface of nickel or platinum into small pieces, the surface area provided by the particles will be more. So the extent of adsorption is also more. Now next, coming to the nature of gas. Okay, so if the gases are liquefiable easily, okay, the gases which are liquefiable easily are more adsorbed onto the adsorbent. Okay, so in case of accumulation of gases, what happens is whenever the gases are floating, okay, they are adsorbed onto this adsorbent surface by converting itself into gaseous phase to liquid phase. Okay, they are just compressed each other. Okay, they are just compressed together and they are converting from gaseous state to liquid state. So that is why easily liquefiable gases are easily adsorbed onto the surface of adsorbent. Okay, so the gases like sulfur dioxide, HCl, okay, CH4 are more adsorbed. Okay, so the extent of adsorption of gases like SO2, HCl and methane is more compared to the gases like H2, O2, N2, because they are not easily liquefiable, whereas these are easily liquefiable. Okay. Then is another special character involved in this nature of gas, that is critical temperature concept. Okay, that is critical temperature concept. Firstly, let us know what is critical temperature. Okay, so what is this critical temperature is the temperature at which, okay, the temperature at which the gases cannot be liquefied. Okay, the temperature at which the gases cannot be liquefied. Okay, irrespective of pressure. Okay, irrespective of pressure. Okay, so for example, let us consider, okay, carbon dioxide. Its critical temperature is 38 degrees centigrade. Okay, let us consider carbon dioxide. Its critical temperature is, okay, it is denoted by Tc. The critical temperature of this carbon dioxide is 38 degrees centigrade. Okay, after this temperature, okay, after the carbon dioxide is exceeded this temperature, what happens is, even though if you apply any amount of pressure, the carbon dioxide will be in the gaseous state only. Okay, it cannot be liquefied. Okay, so how this critical temperature is depending on the adsorption, now let us see. Okay, this critical temperature is directly proportional to the extent of adsorption. If the gas is having more critical temperature, it will be adsorbed more. If the gas is having low critical temperature, it is adsorbed less. Okay, so why is this happening is, for example, let us consider two gases X and Y. Okay, let us consider two gases X and Y, where the critical temperature of X is 100 degrees centigrade and the critical temperature of Y is 50 degrees centigrade temperature. Okay, so the gas Y is liquefied only up to 50 degrees centigrade temperature. Okay, so approximately it is 10 ml, but this gas X can be liquefied up to 100 degrees centigrade temperature. So the amount of gas liquefied as we increase the temperature will be more. So the gas X is more adsorbed when compared to the Y. So it is approximately 20 ml of gas is liquefied and is absorbed onto the adsorbent. So that is how the critical temperature is playing the role on the extent of adsorption. So I will give you one example for how the critical temperature is depending on the extent of adsorption. Okay, so and 1 gram activated charcoal, okay, 1 gram activated charcoal can absorb 200 ml of, okay, 1 gram activated charcoal can absorb 200 ml of SO2 gas, and at the same amount of activated charcoal can absorb 20 ml of methane. Okay, that is 20 ml of methane and 5 ml of hydrogen gas. Okay, all these are gases. So 1 gram activated charcoal is absorbing 200 ml of sulfur dioxide, 20 ml of methane and 5 ml of hydrogen. So why is this happening is, the critical temperature of sulfur dioxide gas is 430 Kelvin. Okay, the critical temperature of SO2 gas is 430 Kelvin, whereas methane gas is 356 Kelvin, and whereas hydrogen gas is approximately 253 Kelvin. So that is why 1 gram activated charcoal can absorb 200 ml of sulfur dioxide gas, that with respect to 1 gram activated charcoal is absorbing 20 ml of methane gas, and the same activated charcoal is absorbing only 5 ml of hydrogen gas. Let us go with the third factor affecting the adsorption. Okay, so what is the third factor affecting the adsorption? Pressure, right? So the third factor affecting the adsorption is pressure. Okay, this pressure mainly plays important role only in case of physisorption. Okay, it plays mainly important role only in the process of physisorption, whereas it is not playing any role in case of chemisorption. Okay, in case of chemisorption, because in case of physisorption the molecules are adsorbed due to van der Waal forces. Okay, in case of physisorption it is adsorbed due to van der Waal forces, whereas in case of chemisorption it is adsorbed due to chemical bond formation. Okay, so the number of chemical bonds formed will be always constant. So that is why even though if we apply any amount of pressure, the number of chemical bonds formed will be constant, whereas the van der Waal forces, by applying the pressure, the interactions will be increases. Okay, so the pressure is playing only major role on physisorption and it is not playing any role in case of chemisorption. Okay, so for pressure we are going to draw some isotherms. What are the isotherms means? The graphs in which the temperature is constant. Okay, what is the isotherm? The graph in which the temperature is being constant. So how the isotherms I am drawing is, I am going to take the extent of adsorption onto the y-axis and pressure onto the x-axis, and I am calculating the amount of gas adsorbed. Okay, I will do a separate video for this adsorption isotherms. There are mainly two types of adsorption isotherms, that is Freundlich absorption isotherm and Langmuir adsorption isotherm. Okay, so next, the fourth factor is temperature. Okay, the fourth factor is temperature. Okay, so how the extent of adsorption is depending on the temperature is, already we have done a video about physisorption and chemisorption. You can see in that video, at low temperatures, okay, at low temperatures the process of physisorption is more, whereas the in case of chemisorption it is favored at high temperatures. Okay, low temperature is favoring the process of physisorption and high temperature is favoring the process of chemisorption. Okay, so firstly, in some cases what happens is, if the starting process is physisorption, as we go on increase the temperature, the process of physisorption is going to change into the chemisorption. Okay, so in case of pressure we are drawing isotherms. Similarly we are going to draw isobars in case of temperature. So how these isobars are present, now let us see. Okay, the extent of adsorption. Okay, let us consider on y-axis we are going to take extent of adsorption, and on x-axis I am going to take temperature. Okay, I am going to take temperature on x-axis and extent of adsorption on y-axis. Okay, what is happening as we go on increase the temperature? Okay, as we go on increase the temperature, the process of physisorption is decreasing. Okay, so this is one of the adsorption isobar. Okay, next I am going to draw a second graph for chemisorption process, that is extent of adsorption versus temperature. Okay, firstly what happening is, as the temperature is increasing, the process of chemisorption is continuously increasing, but after sometimes what happens is, okay, after the temperature is reaching to the maximum, again the chemisorption process is decreased, that is the extent of adsorption due to chemisorption is decreased. Okay, so these are the mainly four factors which are affecting the extent of adsorption of gases onto the solids. Okay, they are surface area of adsorbent, nature of gas, pressure and temperature. Okay, in the next video you will clearly get to know what are adsorption isotherms. Okay, thank you.